guys, so as you can see, there's a part 2 to this particular episode that I did featuring Nekesa. We're still unpacking all things societal beauty standards and all matters, all our ideas, all our experiences. And I particularly loved this last part. We got into so many things and so many details. So thank you for listening to the first part of this particular episode. Now we're going into the second one. Please stay tuned. I hope you listen to the very end, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on all matters concerning societal beauty standards. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the support, and thank you for listening in. Love you, mean it. Bye. Have you ever had now? Because now, of course, we've transitioned. We're from high school. Now you're even a mom. You're married. You have your roots in corporate. Yeah. Was there a certain point while you're interacting with people at work where the size or even the beauty conversation was there a point where you felt someone was condescending towards you because of your weight? Were people looking at you some type of way when you were so eager to go for lunch break? Because I feel like there's a way we treat people who sometimes are quote unquote bigger. It's like, haven't you eaten enough?
Let me tell you.
Why, yeah.
And that thing is happening every day. Like, literally, I have an example for this past week.
What?
Yes. I have an example this past week. Someone asked me, and I even went back to the office and laughed about it. Some lady passed through our corridor and was like, hi. I'm saying hi to her because we haven't met for so long.
Okay.
She asked me, Kwani, you're eating with the blind?
Hey! Hey! Tulisema chills tutawacha wapi?
I'm like, what? Excuse me, sorry? Yes. Kwani, you're eating with the blind?
Because
someone is supposed to be stopping someone from eating, but we are not stopping each other from
what?
Eating. I was like, what?
So at what point did they feel like that?
She said, you're bulging. Wow. I just looked at her, I smiled. I entered my office because it was in the corridor.
Ati bulging.
You're bulging. I just smiled. I went back to my office, and then I sat, and then I told my office mates, because I shared with them. Yeah. And then we were like, wow. Okay, we're not that close, first and foremost.
I'm so confused.
Excuse me, what were you? I've even forgotten. Okay, I'm just saying hi to you, yes, but I don't even know your name.
And you're here feeling comfortable saying things like that. It's the follow-up for me. I was asking you a question instead of being like, oh no, I was just joking. It's like, you're bulging. Here?
Expound on your statement. That's a recent example. But then this is just to show that this is a thing we encounter every day.
Yes.
Especially in offices.
Yeah.
Now that you asked me that question, I remember going way back when I joined this organization, my hair was baby locks.
You had starter locks, yes.
Baby locks. The small ones.
When
the ones
you rough it up, yes.
Exactly. Where that thing disturbed people, it disturbed it both bad. It touched the wrong way. And me, I'm there, I'm thinking.
I'm saying, so what were the kind of comments you used to get?
Is my hair working? Ati ni kichana umepoteza. Can I give you my kichana?
What? And then did you color it? And was it also colored?
Yes, it was colored already. What? Trust Nekesa with zero chills. Yes.
Wow.
It was colored.
And when you came in for the job interview, was that a point of conversation?
When I came in to the job interview, I think I plaited.
Okay.
I had braids.
Yeah.
Then I removed the braids and I went back to my,
your normal baby locks. And then you just wrap it up. Mm-hmm.
Well, some people used to give comments making them sound like they're positive, but so this is how a real journalist looks.
They're backhanded compliments for me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was like, then they'd go arguing. You'd meet two people. Yes. One is for you, one is against you. Yeah. Then they pick it up and take it up as their debate.
And they just go.
I was a conversation starter in spaces.
Wait, so have you ever gone in certain spaces, maybe in meetings? So I know you rub shoulders with big people. And were you treated differently because of how you appeared, like your hair?
I think I have.
Because even now you have locks.
Yeah,
what kind of reception do you get?
Well,
especially when you have your locks down and you're not trying to style them to look, quote unquote, quote acceptable.
Well, no one has ever said anything about the locks and their styling per se. Okay. No one has ever said directly to me about the styling the hair per se, but there's some things and there's some decisions that are usually made and you feel okay. That was made because of ABC. Some things you can just,
it's like subtle cues that you get.
1 + 1 is yes.
Okay. So then now that we've spoken about hair, I'm very eager to hear about piercings. One of the things that I knew very earlier on I was going to do when I was younger was have a nose piercing. I know my mom had a lot of words to say about it, but I didn't care. In fact, when I finished putting that last full stop on my KCSE paper, mimi nilikuwa huko tao nikipanda gari nikienda kutombolewa mapua. That's the first thing I did. I remember her seeing me and saying, "Hey, she look nice." And I was just like, what? The switch up now.
Okay.
And then there was also the story of how people used to say, oh, if you have the quote-unquote broad nose and then you don't look good with a nose piercing. But me, I always felt like the bigger your nose, the better you even look with a nose piercing. And then, of course, there's the issue of unaitwa manga, if you have a nose piercing. So how was that for you?
We've honestly come from very far.
We have.
We've come from very fast. Sasa, me and my, I don't know, this big transition, you know, like I actually got it still during I put the locks when I was on maternity leave for the second born. I pierced my nose when I was on maternity for the second born. Like I've done all these things.
After that car
switch, when I told you, I decided that I love myself. I love my body 100%. And there's no going back. And all these things that I had never thought about. Actually, it's the locks, I'd thought about them, but I was worried for I'm not a routine kind of person.
Okay.
So initially I used to get worried because I was like, how will I'll get bored.
And then now you want
I'm
to
a very switch
yes.
Like I'd cut my hair, it will grow back. I'd go back to plaiting, then I've cut it again, then I do this, then I do this. I've been going.
I do that a lot too.
Exactly. So I was worried for the longest time I didn't put dreads because of that. Then secondly, of course, my religious face. Then
I know my dreadlocks are for the devil.
We talk about that religious face and the definition of beauty. Anyway,
well, we have to.
So after that is when I thought about all these things. I had become, we were living very far away from the CBD.
I remember,
working in the CBD. No time for nothing, because I didn't have time even for motherhood.
Oh, wow, it's just work.
So especially now that switch up from, I think it was even before I went on maternity, because I was feeling I spent so much time on the road. I spent so much time on the road. There's no way I can give another few hours to a salon.
It's just going to sit.
And then I was so tired of, now to think about what's the next hairstyle, what's the next. I've been gravitating towards natural hairstyles.
Yes.
And my natural hair. So after that, I put the fox locks first, and then I just switched. From then it was like no looking back.
And then now you just had your locks.
We just moved. Then for the nose ring, I thought about it. It's like, why not? I've just never thought about it. But when now I think about it, I want to get one.
So me, I'm just going to go and get my nose ring.
And apparently my neighbor is a piercer. My neighbor used to be a piercer. So just come and do this.
It's a convenience for me.
Tomorrow carry your tools. Come and do this for me.
So did your partner? So what was your partner saying during this entire transition? Because of course, I have a friend of mine who, of course, the glow up is evident as your pocket gets better. Then you have the resources to be able to kind of morph your appearance to how you want it to be. And so there was a time she was telling me, my partner was complaining and telling me, so and so, I think you've changed. Like now you're giving slay queen tendencies. You're always getting to do your nails done with your long whatevers, and you have this, now you're buying these wigs and whatevers. So during that transition, of course, your partner is seeing you transition, because we are not. So what was their response to it, or what was their reaction?
Remember.
You don't
any comment that was made. It's very silent. I just remember once, way later, like a year into the whole thing, is when he mentioned that, you don't think I've noticed that you're making yourself beautiful.
Please, always be the men. Please, what is wrong with us making ourselves beautiful?
So that's the one time I had that statement, but he never, I don't even think he ever really commented during
the transition.
Hairstyle looked like just any other hairstyle. Alafu all the things were happening at home. That's the other thing. There's no day I went out and came back a different person. So if it's the dreads, I switched from the fox locks. That in our house, made by my small bro, switched. So everything is happening. The transition, So I don't know.
So they didn't have
just mean with the comments, or he never thought about it. And then the other piercing was just done by my other brother-in-law. So
So we both know that you're a very outgoing babe. I have my own fair share of outgoingness. Where was a certain time that you felt like, I feel like this person got this thing because people feel like she's quote unquote the standard of beauty. And now I just want to get deeper into the conversation. So now when we talk about beauty standards, I just want to keep it real for a moment. The best way I can define this, and I feel like I say this a lot when I talk about beauty standards, is we talk about Barbie culture. So I want you to imagine, if you've seen what Barbie looks like, put some tan on that Barbie, make them darker. Even I'm talking like Sudanese dark, and then give them Eurocentric features. So the small nose, the high cheekbones, sometimes even the oblong face, because I've seen in certain spaces, girls with an oblong face and not the round square faces are considered more beautiful. So that kind of appearance is what would be considered quote unquote beautiful. And then now slap on either 3C curls for like pointy kind of hair, or very long black hair, even if it's kinky hair, but it's long and beautiful. So that's what was considered the standard of beauty. And I feel like that has carried on even up to this particular point. So there are girls who look like that in most of the spaces we are in. As adults, it could be in church, it could be in your chama, it could be in your workspace. And sometimes I feel like those kind of girls get those privileges solely based on appearance. I
agree with
even when you go to the club, I always say this to my guy friends all the time. When we go to the club, it's me and my girls, we've gone out. The first girl who gets hit on now in this moment, as we're speaking in 2023, of course it's a girl with the calves. That's the first girl we eliminate from the equation. It's a girl with the the big booty and the nice shape and the calves. That's the first one that will capture the guy's attention. And of course, without saying, it's the light-skinned ones who will go next. Even if you're light-skinned and you don't have the quote-unquote curvy body, but you're light skin and you're pretty like that, then you go. And then next will be the dark skin chick with the Eurocentric features. So I'm talking the small nose, the high cheekbones or whatever. And the other one is just like, we'll be told, the jama who is, hey, you just take one for the team. Just go, chukua huyo. So when was at a point in your life where you felt like that, you experienced that?
I feel like I've always been experiencing that. I have several examples. There's that lady we used to resemble when I joined high school in Form 1. And I remember, during those, we used to be bullied. We asked for us, it was a season called Salamander.
What?
So Salamander, there was a Salamander season. Anyway, so during those Salamander days, there's I don't know whether it was a Form 4 or just a senior student, said they confused me with that other chick. Then she was like, no, it's not you. You're not the prettier one or something. Like
what?
We resemble that chick we used to resemble, and then they outrightly called her the prettier one, and that chick had a darker tone than me, and I remember her. And she transferred, but then she transferred. So that comment got to me. Secondly, I've been feeling like colorism. We have this colorism thing. Even here in Kenya, we have it. And I remember Yvonne Okwara has ever mentioned it. Just look at our presenters, TV presenters.
There you go.
How many, Yvonne Okwara is like the one out of...
She is.
Yes.
I've never thought about it.
She has actually even talked about it. She has talked about it. Because those guys don't even hire people who look a certain way for that role. Those are the conversations we are perpetuating, or those are the social, that's how we are socializing the girls in our society. Yeah.
I mean, look at Julie Gishuru was reigning on the news for how long? For how long?
Right.
Yeah. Even Catherine Kasavuli, God rest her soul. She was
there for how long? And those are the people we want to push. Those are the images that want to be pushed. So someone like Yvonne Okora, because I've had her mentioning this before, and I know she struggled. Even I would love to hear her
just asserting herself in the space and saying, even me, I can do it. Yeah.
And going for those interviews, and even the person who picked her tried to switch that conversation, because it's no longer about how you look.
No.
Okay, there are some spaces that are woke. Let me use the word woke.
Yeah.
And there's some spaces that are allowing of this to happen. Of course, at my place of work, I usually feel like, for us, it's two-pronged. It's tribalism and colorism.
What? It's the ghetto. What?
And now me, at some point in my life, I just decided, you know what, from now on I'll be going with my second name, Nekesa.
Yeah.
Good to all of you.
So it's like from the minute I meet you,
Esther,
I just
now
know.
I'm done with Esther.
Yeah.
Not Kobaya, but I used to feel like, no, Esther is such a regular name. You know, I said I'm a rebel. What to a catch up? I said I'm a rebel. So at some point I just decided in my life, you know what, I'm fascinated in my second name. Because Esther's are like 50 in any space.
It's true. It's like there was a time mothers just united and decided we are naming our kids Esther. There was this one time I was dating this guy, and I was just like, was there a congress where people just gathered and decided we are naming our sons Anthony? Because it was like, even in the office, now when I'm dealing with things, it's like, that guy for the printer, call him or Anto, or that guy for marketing, call him Anto. It's just like, so was there a time, it's like the Brios and the Kevos and the Carolines of this one. It's like mothers just have a conference and this season we are naming all our children Caroline. So there was like a Esther season as well.
And now coming from high school, where people in high school used to have to call us with both our names. So there's Esther Ken, Esther Men. Me, my initials were MEN. Esther KEN, Esther ER, then Esther someone else. So I went to campus and I was like, you know what, call me Nekesa.
Yes.
By that time, I'm telling you, my name is Nekesa. You figure
You've
out,
already
where I've come from
me.
And blah, blah, blah. But still, people, when we're happy, it's also another conversation starter. Goodness.
It's like, I know, it's just like, I don't know why people think it's okay to ask things like that.
Enter now corporate patriarchal societies. Welcome.
No, that's a different conversation altogether.
Who? Nekesa, you're from where? And what? And now come and do all this.
Yeah. Where with the dreads and everything and the nose ring. Girl, you're trending on dangerous ground. But see, here you are. You've survived for this long. There's something I used to see, because there's a place before my current place of work. I used to do customer service. So it was quote unquote almost like a call center of some sort. And 90% of the workforce was women. And I could see every time we used to go for work dinners or the bonus dinners, you could see there was some kind of, grouping, right? So the chicks who were very fair-skinned and could, had a way of making their hair look like sijui, I don't know, like long, and with the long ponytails, and they could lay their edges. There was a way they always used to categorize themselves and then take selfies among themselves. And then even when they want to take a selfie with you, it's like, let's include the ugly duckling. Let them have a moment also. And then you could even see, I think I took like 10 photos with this chick, but I'm just seeing her posting her photos with the other chicks that look like her, and even tagging them. And then maybe yours, they'll like send you the photo for, this was that photo we took together. Have you ever experienced that?
No, if I have, you didn't pick it up. I didn't pick it up.
Okay. So then there's something that people always speak about. So we've spoken about how even quite recently to last week, someone was speaking on your way, talking about, they said
are you eating with the blind?
No, the one at your budget. I am so offended on your behalf. Have you, as a thick babe, have you at any point envied girls who are smaller than you in stature?
Of course, let me tell you. You know Nairobi.
I know.
You know
all
the
too
way
well.
you can walk in these Nairobi streets and you feel like everyone has been doing her squats. Everyone has been going to the gym and not missing their workouts and running. Have you ever walked in this Nairobi
feeling
town
like a
and
baby
you're like,
elephant?
wow, nice body. Wow, nice body.
And me, I do
wow,
that.
nice.
I'm just like, wow.
Wow. There are
Yeah.
times I walk in the streets of Nairobi and I'm like, wow.
That waist.
Wow.
Good for you.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
The groups I'm in, you know what I mean? And I'm in all those groups for exercising, CG, what, where people are posting their befores and after.
And you don't even look at it from a point of view. It's just like, good for you. Good on you.
Yes,
Yeah.
by the way. And I'm like, I just need to get that consistency.
If I could get there, that would be nice. Yeah. So there's a point you've ever felt like that.
There's a point I felt like that. And I've felt like maybe this is a point I should put across.
Yes.
I have felt like I am always trying to lose weight.
Oh, yeah.
I have felt like I'm always on this trajectory of trying to lose weight, number one. Number two, I felt like I'm those people who are always drinking water for the weight to go down. I have felt like I'm always these people who, now in my work life, I felt like I'm always these people who are on some sort of diet, cutting out one thing or something or other. I've had this, let's cut off all wheat.
Yeah.
Okay, we cut off wheat. Then I've had this other thing, let's cut off all this. The other day I was hearing there's one OMAD, to do 1 meal a day. Then there was another day, I was doing keto.
What?
Like, so I've felt like I'm always on this train for losing weight.
For trying to lose weight.
As
yeah.
I love, completely love myself.
Yeah.
I'm doing it for I don't know. I've just always been on this thing.
Yeah. So for me, I think I've never been quite aware of how petite I was until I had my daughter. And one thing that I was really looking forward to post-pregnancy was the baby fat. I was telling myself, now it's my turn. It's my time to be curvy. It's what? Not me losing 10 kilos.
Oh my goodness.
Not me. And getting the tiniest I've ever been, even after high school. Because people who even used to see me during high school were seeing me after I've given birth. They're like, Kwani, what's going on? Are you okay? Of course, there was a lot of stress during that season, so that also contributed. But then after that, now I got super conscious of my weight. Because when I came back from maternity leave, it was good. It was the compliments were there. Oh, wow. Aki, you still have your waistline. Oh, so I was feeling good. Yeah. Until the people who knew me were like, what's going on? Yeah. You're really losing weight. Like you're quoted. Now you're on that border for you're looking malnourished. Like what's going on? So then I became very conscious of my weight. And then, you know me, I have a smart mouth. So you won't talk about my weight and I won't have a comeback. Like, I'll tell you something. That one was telling you that you're bulging. Uyo. Okay. Angeona moto. Yeah. So people would say me, sijui ati, you've lost so much weight. Ati, kwani umekonda, umenono pelekwe buchari ya nani. Ama things like, you come and marry me so I can grow fat. So I always used to have a comeback, but it was all self-defense. And those things really used to get into my head. Yeah. So I found myself in certain circles starting to envy thick girls. And even you could find me when someone is hitting on me, I would say things like, so what kind of girls do you like? I would even go and start stalking your previous partners to see, hey, what are we working with? Am I a social experiment? Is he trying to see what tiny girls look like? And so it really got to me. And even up to this point, I'm trying to get to a point where I'm comfortable with just being a tiny babe. And whether the weight comes or not, I appreciate my body as it is. I also noticed that, because now I started being very aware of being skinny shamed, that there are certain points or instances I fat shamed people without even knowing, talking about, kwani you look like sijui what, ama this. And sometimes I would do it even not from a point of knowing. So then now I started being very aware of how I comment about other people's bodies. So have you ever skinny shamed someone knowingly or unknowingly?
Wow, have I ever?
Because there was a day I was changing.
But not, I have. But it wasn't from a negative point of view. But there are people I see and I'm like, apana, please cooler. Like, what's going on?
I know, yeah.
Please eat. I'm like, do you need our help? I have actually commented on, yes, people, especially the tiny people. People I'm comfortable. Uni literally colleague.
Yes.
Niwa department 2 kabisa. So I was like, hey, kuna time namona, I'm like, ebu please tell us whether there are problems. Like, you know, like you live alone, maybe you don't have staff, and we are here in the office, and I was coming from that point
of do
and
you do you need help?
I was coming from there because I'm like, is the same as he. Did you? And I asked him, do you agree? He's like, yeah, I agree. Nimekuwa na stress kiasi, ama nimekuwa msick, yes, ama nimekuwa msick kiasi, ama it was a guy. For chicks, I don't think I've ever skinny shamed. Me, I've just been around people like always drinking water, more water.
So your circle is people for drinking water and trying to lose weight.
And trying not to eat bread. Yeah.
Well, okay. Because that's something I have really struggled with. Just feeling beautiful as a skinny woman. It's a genuine struggle.
And now that I've been around you, I hope I've never said something that has offended you. You know, there's some things we've hung out a lot.
Yeah.
I don't even know whether it has ever come up, whether I've ever said something that stuck.
I don't think you have.
Honestly,
because I feel like you're one of those people who I know who really speak their minds.
Yeah.
But I honestly don't have, because those are things I never forget. I don't have a recollection of you ever saying something about my weight. Yeah. I would never forget. I just be like, on June 19th, 2014, you said at 1 a.m. Yeah. So no, I don't think you ever have. Okay. So then we've spoken about beauty standards in the workplace. We've spoken about growing up in the family setup. Let's talk about it in church. Wakristo, mnataka fearfully and wonderfully made. Who gets a role for the play? It's a light-skinned chick. Wow.
Yeah, true.
That happened.
But then that has generally, okay, we are the same people.
Yes.
Who are in the corporate world and who go to church.
Yeah,
let's agree, right?
Yes, it's true.
But let me tell you, in those my religious days, suliniacha na baby locks. Did you leave me somewhere with baby locks? Let me tell you the transition. Tell me. Funny comments. Those comments too. Those comments.
Yeah.
One day I do what? Because I still had my natural hair. One day I do what? I think I go to the salon, and after my firstborn, in the maternity and trying to find myself in this whole motherhood thing, I went back and permed my hair. I was like, now I've gone back to work. I don't know how to do babies work. Natural hair.
Yeah, let me just do something manageable. Morning. Yes.
Like, let me just perm it. Big mistake. Comments. Okay, now this is the thing about the church that let me just not generalize.
Yeah.
Let me speak about the experience that I had.
Yeah.
So one of the men commented, by the way, he's talking around me, but not talking to me. Ati, wait. I see your husband gave you money to go to the salon. I'm like, what?
Oh my God. What? So now is what I look like. Now is what I've started going to the salon.
And the husband,
because my hair is permed, and it's the husband who has financed this glow up.
I was like, what? I'm around there. If no one is talking to me
directly,
they're talking to
they're talking around. But of course the comment is directed towards you. Yes.
Like, what? Ati uambiange ati alafu finally umwambie afanye hivyo, like
this we love to see this.
And then he made that comment like 3 more times within the same service. It's not like just okay, talk and go.
Yeah.
Another time.
You're just like, what else?
Kuokoka tuweke chini.
Weka Yesu chini. Because I love my Jesus, but there are times that people really push the boundaries. So how did that make you feel?
It made me feel pretty bad.
Yeah.
Number one, this person does not think I have the ability to make a choice about what I want to do with my hair.
Yeah.
And then number 2, go ahead and do it. And then number 3, just tell me I look nice and move.
And keep it pushing.
Some ninis are so unnecessary.
Yes.
Usiwaieka kitu ingine kwa nywele. You don't go adding and adding. Like no.
You know, I've never experienced
they
that.
made me feel like that's the day I got the mark of approval.
Yes,
now
that's the day
now you fit in the crowd of church goers.
Tumekuwa
tukikuvumilia. Yesu amekufikia.
Yesu amekuguza sababu hiyo nywele. Juma ulikuwa unaendelea.
By the way, the men talked.
Yeah.
It bored me.
And you know, when men have something to say, especially the mouthy ones, they can really mouth.
It really bored me.
Yeah.
Ngoja usikiendelea nikaongeza volume.
Uh-huh.
Umeshaona Nekesa na human hair?
What you putting tracks on your hair? Ooh, you want long and luscious and let's give it to you. So you go and put some, you add some extensions.
Some hair from where I go and get it done.
Yeah.
The comments kept coming. Sasa nikaambiwa, sasa fanya hivi, sasa ongeza hii. Enda so over heels.
What?
Sasa leta to dresses.
What?
Drop the trousers.
So now you find that even going to church is not just a normal occasion. Now you start feeling that pressure for, hey, what am I wearing?
Approval. Because I don't know, and this is one thing. There's one day I mentioned it, and I don't know who fought me about it. I don't know whether it was Nicole or I've said it twice or thrice. I said, don't comment about and that's why maybe you felt like I've never mentioned anything about you, because me, it's very hard for you to hear me commenting on your weight, on your attitude, what you've worn,
outfit. Yes,
it's rare. I'll appreciate you. Unakapoa sana. When it comes to, but there are times ndio hata unakapoa there, but there are times, and na hata nikikosa kusema it's not haikwangi kwa ubaya. There's another extent to which people go that now make you feel okay. Ati inakuwa too much. Sasa hiyo place ilikuwa hivyo. Nimeona leo umetokea na ma white nini. Leo nimeona oh my god. Okay, it was not church anymore. It became something else.
It's like now we're just looking forward to see what you're wearing.
Exactly.
You know that happened in our church as well.
And it makes you a victim of something.
It makes you really
unknowingly,
vain.
Exactly. Unknowingly, you're like, okay, so you know.
You know, there are times we were late for mass because we were trying to find an outfit.
Skia.
What is that, honestly? For me, the time I remember in church where I really felt like it was appearance. So our church has this thing where we used to do Christmas musicals towards in December. I think it was a very good way also to just keep children busy, because those are the days when December holidays used to start like early November and go all the way mnafungu hata huko January, so mpaka at that point. So then we started going for those Christmas concert rehearsals, and it was my first time just joining, because I had never done a musical before. And so during this time, I was in that transition where your hair is not too long, and also it's not short. So I had a tour, a teeny weeny fro. And then, so every morning I used to do my matutas, and then in the morning I wake up, I chana it up with my afro comb, and then I'm off to rehearsals. And then my mom told me, for Christmas, because now we're at a point where you don't feel like you want to braid, I'll just palm your hair and then make it manageable. Boys never used to talk to me. And I remember I was like 14, 15. They always used to holler at all these other girls. You know those conversations you're having backstage as you wait for your turn to be called to come and do what it is that you're doing. The day I showed up for rehearsals with palmed hair, even the popular boys were saying hi to me. It's like they were acknowledging my presence. Like, oh, hi, actually, sema unaitwa? And I told myself, wow. So it's because I've palmed my hair. Now it's nice and it's lying flat on my head. So then now I'm getting noticed. And then I also remember just having conversations with my cousins for what are we wearing to church tomorrow. And then it almost became like a quote-unquote competition. There are people who they're like, they had even themes for outfits that Sunday. It's like they show up and it's her and her sister, they're wearing vitenges. And then there was a time, I remember me and my cousin showed up to church and we were wearing suits. My uncle had traveled abroad and he had brought us these suits. My cousin had a brown one, me I had a black one. The way we were raining. Siku kwa youth meeting. Apo. I really like your outfits today. Thank you. You're acting like, oh, we just watched by accident. Well, no, we've been waiting the whole week to come and show out with these suits on Sunday. Yeah, and it made us so vain.
Yeah, true.
Because you're there, you're sitting during mass, you're just picking out, oh, nani leo ameenda sana. That is not looking like a church outfit.
And there's nothing. Imagine now you guys were doing it as kids, as we were doing it as almost adults. pastors nauko. Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, as we are doing it as adults, as leaders.
Church politics is nasty. When it gets to that point, it can be really bad.
Uko juu commenting on people's Anyway.
Yeah, and I feel like if you're listening to this and you're a church person, because I personally also am a church person, I had a pastor say this the other day, and he was saying, do you see people who are well, who are not sick, going to hospital? Because then what are they going to do? So when people come to church, don't expect perfect people here. This is a space for broken people. Me, I would even want to feel like if I wake up in the morning and I am low, I'm not okay, and perhaps God has blessed me to have a car, despite this economy and the fuel prices, I can get into my car in my pajamas and go to church and sit at the back and just listen to the word and try and get a source of encouragement. And not feel like someone will say, pajamas nazo, or whatever.
You'd be emotionally blackmailed.
You will. You'll even be told, umetoka sijui wapi.
5, you have the audacity to wake up and dress up. But for God, you're preaching. But for God, you cannot even wake up and dress up.
You don't show your makeup.
You're not coming out as your best way.
Even the day that you're not dressed smartly, the way the pastor normally says, turn to your neighbor and say, you'll see that person turning to the neighbor for this side. Because with this other neighbor, you just go and glow up fast. We need to do better. We need to do, please.
Okay, we are not...
we are not,
like we are preaching against the pastors.
We are not. We're just saying accept us as we are.
Let's your best.
Yeah.
And then at some point you've done your week, you're so tired. Your Saturday you are doing your side hustles, catching up with family. Sunday you are tired. Hata ukijaribu kuamka uende your church, you just want those few hours just between you and God. And you want to be relaxed from the mindset, from inside, from outside. You don't want to wear things that are... I don't know.
I'm not trying to wear 6-inch heels because me first I don't even think clearly when I'm that high up. Exactly. I just want to be comfortable be in a space where your
legs are feeling the air, some open shoes, some what. You just feel nice. Where?
Now it becomes a point of nini. Yeah. So anyway, I think we've had an all-rounded conversation. The one thing that comes to mind as we wind up is also sometimes how we speak about children, because we are parents, right? I've seen teachers, and I think you've experienced it when you were in school as well, how the teacher's favorite was somehow always quote unquote the prettiest or the most handsome boy in the room. Yeah. And so we tend to think, if you give birth to a child and they are fair in complexion and there's a way they look, they don't have oedema, hawajafura sana, then those are the cute babies. But when babies are, they're dark skinned, or then it's, oh, hi Toto, or they just want to be seen from a distance. No one wants to carry and take selfies with it. We see you, because of those aunties who like the light skinned children. It is well. It's okay. Yeah, so I feel I think we can do better. So you as a parent, how are you impacting your child in terms of just boosting their self-esteem and not letting them fall victim to any form of societal beauty standards?
You said a very powerful thing. By the way, it starts with us. We are the parents, we are the teachers.
Yes.
And we are the ones who start defining beauty from home.
Yes.
So, number one, you've had us the way we call ourselves in the house. I'm Queen Mami.
There we go.
And these girls are princesses, and we are beautiful, and we tell it to ourselves every day.
Yeah.
We are beautiful. And then I try as much as possible to not make any comments about my children's weight.
Oh, yes.
About my children's any part of the body. Oh, sijui yo thikia, oh, yo tumbo yako, oh, sijui yo bambam, oh, sijui nini. Of course, they've already started picking it out from society.
Yes.
I'm not saying they'll be
now this bubble. Yeah.
They've already started hearing and picking out from society, and people will tell them things and what have you. But there's some things I will not do as a mother.
Yeah.
I will not start telling you, oh, those boobs, oh, those legs, those thighs, those, because it's those comments. For me, I remember I started from home.
Yeah.
Even just knowing that I'm big and Jackie is small.
Yeah.
Started from home.
Yeah.
Huyu atakuwa na mwili nini? We start
we say
innocently.
There's a lady who said that about my daughter, because I remember my daughter had a very big body. So we had gone to the shops to buy something, and she tells me, oh, she's in what class is she in? I said, oh, she hasn't started school. Atina venya kona mwili mbaya. I said, excuse me?
What does that mean?
mwili mbaya
What is
inakaa aje?
mbaya?
Because from where I'm standing, you're equally as big as my daughter is, and she's not hana mwili mbaya. That's the body that God gave her, and me in my eyes, she's perfect. So I don't appreciate you talking like that. Like, I shut it down real quick. There, and then.
Because you know, such comments are the ones they grew up with.
Yes.
Someone says it to them first.
Yeah.
Those things of huyu akona mwili, ati huyu akona potential, huyu atakuwa mkubwa, huyu ni kama wewe, huyu ni kama nani, huyu
ni mdogo, huyu hapendi food.
I don't like such comments. Yeah. And you won't find me, even if I think them, because honest to God, they do come to mind. They
come to mind, yes.
But I try as much as possible not to mention it to them, not to mention it when they're, when they're listening, because I have 2 girls. I don't even know how, like, honestly, sometimes I feel like I can download everything that is in their brains. then
reprogram,
upload what I really want to go into their systems and all. So that is one of the things that I'm really trying not to do. It's hard, especially when you go for these family gatherings, people doing things that are disagreeable with you, because those comments are coming. They may even come when you're not there.
Yes.
And
children are ruthless. Have you had children talk about other people's bodies? Yeah.
Wamit aunties, wamit nini, wamit nani. The comments are said.
Yes.
Yeah. So for me at home, we're really trying to be to affirm.
Yeah.
Affirm.
Yeah.
Not talk about the comments my daughter has made. Someone has mommy, you have a big bum. Actually, my daughter has told me that someday. I'm like, what? Who said that? Why? Why do you say that? I'm like, everyone's bum, everyone's tummy. They even tell me I have a big tummy.
Yeah.
They tell me things.
Yes.
I'm like, they're all good, they're all beautiful.
They're okay.
For them, it's okay to learn, yes, big, small, the difference. But I just tell them we are all beautiful.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I think for me, I really try to, because I feel like normal is boring for me. And that's why maybe I'm such a big fan of you. I like people who just own their uniqueness.
Yeah.
So for me, I really try to stress to my daughter that there's beauty in uniqueness.
Yes.
There's so much beauty in uniqueness.
Oh, wow.
And when you tap into that uniqueness of yours, no matter what it is, that's where your beauty is.
Yes.
That's why. And also, I let my daughter move with that's your problem. Me, I know what I know.
Yes.
I keep it pushing. Because it's so many times. Sometimes, the nannies that we hire, they'll say things like, and I don't like your dress today. I've had her on numerous occasions tell the nanny, me, I like it. But me, I like it and it's okay. And that's how I'm going. Wow. And so when I hear her say that, I know that I'm doing something right. So for me, I just try to show her, if that's what works for you, and generally you're not hurting anyone, do you. You do you. Kaende kakienda. Yeah, so I hope she grows up knowing that, because where society, life has a way of humbling us. Even as we started with that oomph and nini, and then at some point you feel like life knocks you down, or people's opinions. Okay, so in closing, next, I want you to tell me one thing. Tell me one of your favorite bodily features that you have, and then affirm yourself.
Wow. So one of my favorite body features.
You can even do 2. I mean, because it could be hard to pick.
Is my smile.
Yeah.
My smile. I don't know. And at the end of the day, maybe this is where I wanted. And okay, I'll get back to you.
Okay.
My smile, number one, and there's a certain confidence that I have that I think is so beautiful.
Yeah, and so infectious.
And at the end of the day, by the way, hakuna mtu atanishow. Me, by the way, tuna wrong tukiwa confident.
You need to your chest.
Too wrong tukiwa confident.
Yeah.
But tuna wrong sawa. Wacha tu wrong tupotea.
If you die,
tunapotea.
I'm doing it.
But confidence. So for me, confidence is beautiful.
Yes.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Honesty is beautiful.
Yes.
That's my new definitions of beauty. Like,
it goes beyond what you see.
It's not about what you see.
Yeah, I love where you're taking the conversation.
It's not about what you see.
Yeah.
Trust me, where I'm seated right now, I am so beautiful.
You are.
And it's not about how I look right now, or according to you how you look and see. Msichana, beautiful.
I'm sorry, where? Yeah.
But I know what I carry. I know who I am. I know what I have.
Yes.
I know my experiences have made me beautiful. I've come to like a fullness I cannot even explain. Man, I don't know.
And it shows. It shows. It shows. Like I'm really believing you. As you say, there's a time someone can say, "Oh, I'm beautiful." You're just like, yeah. Keep telling that to yourself. We'll believe you next time. Yeah.
I really am coming to treasure some things that I've really seen are so important in life.
Yes.
Honesty and confidence and being authentic.
Yes.
Your authentic self. What you said about uniqueness.
Yeah.
Just say,
just be you.
Yeah.
Just be you.
You
just be you. The others will join in. What adapt. What adjust to Kienda.
Yeah.
The world will
I
fit
find
in.
that so beautiful, so powerful. And I know I mentioned Yvonne Okwara so many times, but she gives those vibes.
She
right?
does. Yeah. And I like the way she just speaks her mind. See, if we die, we die. Me, I'm telling you what I think and what I feel. Yeah. Okay.
You mentioned your favorite body parts. Was it body parts? After
you've taken the conversation so high, now me, I'm just here. My favorite body part, I think I mentioned it even in another episode when we were talking about this with a male guest, is I really love my forehead. I don't know why. I find girls with big foreheads so attractive, in my opinion. And I know East Africans have a lot to say about our foreheads, but I genuinely love my forehead. I really do. That's my favorite bodily feature. I love my forehead. This is something that I shied away from a very long time, but I love that I am a very sensitive person. I am. I know sometimes, especially because I'm very protective of my friends and I'm very expressive, I come off as very gangster, but deep down I'm just a crocodile with a soft underbelly. And I used to shy away from that a lot. It took me having a conversation with an aunt of mine, and she told me, you know what, Wanzuu, the way you look at life, I don't think you've ever known that you're actually quite deep.
You are.
You're very deep. And it was a point in my life where I was struggling with a relationship, and she told me, and sometimes you just need to make peace with the fact that not everybody is as deep as you are. And that's okay. And now I'm starting to learn that that's my superpower. And they'll struggle to match that energy, or they try and come off with that energy just to fit in with you, and then when it overwhelms them, then they tap out. And so just me feeling things very deeply, and even for others as well, and also just my ability to always want to be a safe space for people. I don't know if I do that enough. I hope I do, and I hope I can continue to do it more.
You do that.
But my just my deepness and the fact that I'm generally a very sensitive person, I think that's something I really love about myself. And I just there's a blissful ignorance that maybe I'm trying to protect now as I'm older, because I know the world can be cruel, that I move through life with, that I wouldn't want to change for anything. I like to do things with my whole heart. If I'm going to love you, I'm just going to love you 100%. If I'm going to show up, I'm just going to show up 100%. And that's something that maybe other people are normally not so open to doing, but it's something, it's in my nature. And so in this moment, I just want to own it and celebrate it. I think I really love that about myself.
I like it.
Yeah.
I love it. And I'm sitting here thinking, the way you came and found us, we were sort of a tight-knit group. And then you came and I remember you putting down these things and like, I'm very sensitive, I struggle to make friends and what have you. And you told us whether you read us your terms and conditions. But we are here. We are here. And we told you how several people have come and gone.
Yes,
many
in the
people
group
have tried to join our group and they couldn't make it.
Yeah.
And you came and you stayed.
And for those of you who are listening and wondering, what are we discussing when we say group? So towards when we were in the thick of COVID, I went back into the church because I had taken a small hiatus, just going out to perambulate and do me. And so when I was going back into the church, I was very intentional about finding a group of people who I could just journey with. And so my pastor then gave out my number to this particular life group, and that was the life group that Nekesa was in. And for me, the reason why I even opened up like that was the energy was so welcoming.
Yeah.
You guys really gave off a vibe of just come as you are. You just come, we meet you where you are, and we keep it pushing. And so that was what enabled me to also just open. And I was also just in a phase in my life where I was really transitioning. I was really so done with the bullshit and just faking it. I just wanted to be me and go through life and then just continue amplifying that. Yeah, so thank you. Thank you for you guys creating that space. And for you also being very intentional about just trying to create a friendship with me, because I remember you guys are the ones who picked me up, took me to church. I remember you're the first person, despite Joy being the first one to reach out and bring me into the group, you're the first person who I genuinely felt very comfortable with. And then as I warmed up to everyone else, because I could see certain similarities in you, or certain things about you that I really liked. So then it's been onwards and going kuendelea since then. Thank you so much for making the time to come on here. This conversation has just been a breath of fresh air. Every time we hang out, I just feel like we exhale. I go home feeling like, whew, okay, that was good.
Same here. You really, I don't know how you do it, but there's a way. Now that you've mentioned your aunt and telling you you're deep, there's a way you really bring out a different perspective to every conversation that we have. Every time I've spoken to you, Yvette, you always ask me, okay, they're difficult questions if you think about it, but they are difficult, needed questions. You make someone think differently. And I really like that about, us hanging out and talking.
Okay. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in.
If your friendships are not like this, please,
I don't know, please check. Tuma M-Pesa nikupe cheat code on how you. But then, guys, life is too short, honestly. And I think as you get older, especially for those of you in your 30s or even in your 20s, life is too short to have people around you who you feel are fake, or you feel you just can't genuinely connect with or be with. If you don't have those people around you, then start evaluating and then go outside and find them, because life is just also too hard to go through it alone. Thank you so much, guys, for listening and for being part of this conversation. I look forward to having Nex on again on the podcast. Did you have fun?
This was fun.
You'll come back again. We unpack other things. We have really spoken. Thank you so much for listening to this episode, and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in. What's some of the things that we discussed on today's episode that you really resonated with? Perhaps you even have a similar story or something that really tickled you. I would love to get your feedback. You can find me on Instagram at the Walking with Wanzuu podcast. You can also find me on Gmail. You can write me an email, tewanzuu@gmail.com. Better yet, you can leave a note if you're listening on Spotify or any other streaming platform, and let me know whatever spoke to you during this particular episode. Life is too hard to go through it alone. Let's just do life together. Ama, until next time, bye-bye.